This video is brought to you by ProBoxingSupplies.com, where you can get 25% off now, and PowerPerformanceProducts.com, where you can get $10 off your purchase of Body Storm and Body Effects.
You look really confident out there. How do you feel today?
Feel good, just a little sore, you know. Fighting Brazilians have been a daily thing for me now that I'm on the Black Zillions team. So I expected a tough guy, but like I said, I have a team full of amazing grapplers, a lot of black belts, so I'm constantly defending chokes and arm bars and triangles. So I went in very confident tonight. The only thing I had to do was take a step back and slow my pace, but still be aggressive. I think in the Lauzon fight, I was too aggressive too early. And then in the Jim Miller fight, I wasn't aggressive enough, and I let him off the hook. So I took those two fights, and I've been studying those two fights for the last few months, and I wanted to take this fight and kind of pace myself and make my measuring stick right in the middle. And I think I was successful in that area by going out, being able to attack the guy, but take my time and in bad situations be able to get out before he can sink anything in tight. So my jiu-jitsu coach, George Santiago, he's definitely happy with me right now. I know Coach Flavius back home is happy too. So I came in and just did my job.
Do you feel like you were fighting to save your job?
Man, you know what? In this business, you know, I've been in the UFC successfully now 7 years in a row. This is my 7th win on the 4th of July. I'm undefeated on the 4th. I think this is my fight card that I show up for the most. But it was in the back of my mind that with another loss, I probably can lose my job. You know, this is my childhood dream as a 14-year-old kid. I always wanted to be in the UFC, and I don't think I would be one of those fighters who get cut from the UFC and fight elsewhere. So I definitely always feel like my job's on the line, but I think that's a good thing for me because it makes me work that much harder so that I don't lose my job. But I never fight safe. You know, I still wanted to finish that fight. I'm upset that I didn't finish, but whoever I fight next, man, I feel sorry for him.
Melvin, it got really hairy at the end of round 1 for you. You know, you were mounted, and then all of a sudden you slipped out. You landed a big shot. Do you feel like that turned the tide or really secured a real dominant position for you for the rest of the fight after that?
Yeah, I mean, I had to give up the mount. It was either give up the mount or let him take my back fully. And in practice, you know, I'll take the mount any day. You know, I'll give up the mount besides taking my back. You know, cold word was don't drop the soap tonight. So it really was. So all I could think was don't drop the soap and just keep my back to the mat and just keep him off me. When he mounted me, my mount escapes always have been good. So I was definitely comfortable in that situation other than him being on my back. And then he dropped a couple of big shots, but they all hit me in the arms. None of them got through, even the elbow, I swear to it. None of them landed. And then when he set up to take a deep breath, that's when I bucked him off me. So it's all, like, jiu-jitsu is very tricky, man. It's like you can move, but sometimes you move too much and guys sink things in tighter. So I wanted to wait till I felt I had an opening and then go for my escape.
Do you feel like the Black Zillions camp has rejuvenated your career since you've been with them since January or so?
Man, you know, I go back and forth about camps, and I do miss Coach Greg and them a lot. I miss those guys all the time, and sometimes in the beginning I felt like I shouldn't have left, you know, especially with coming off of 2 losses, you know, with leaving. But I definitely found my home with the Black Zillions, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for all my training partners. Definitely a whole lot of Brazilians, you know. But, you know, that's always been my Achilles heel. That's always been the things that set me back from being a champion. And to be able to now go into a gym every day and work with world-class black belts who didn't get their belts in the mill, it's a humbling experience. And I have my first gi and no gi Naga tournament in 2 weeks in Orlando that I'm going to go home to on Monday and get ready for. And I'm excited about that next, you know, and we'll see what happens next. Maybe if I start submitting guys, they might start giving me more strikers.
So specifically, were you working with Jason Cavalcante? Yes,
I work with Jay-Z, Yuri, George Santiago, Puga. The list goes on. Coach Flavius has been a tremendous help. Coach Marcone. So, I mean, the whole team, man, everybody that's there, we all one big family. But the person that holds the family together is Glenn Robinson, man. I have an amazing agent. He put together a world-renowned team. We have a phenomenal gym. Some of you guys should come check it out. And we all in there just grinding, man. Everybody wants to be a champion, and that's my dream, man, and that's part of my legacy. So it's up to me to fulfill that. Nobody can do it for me.
Did you have a chance to work with the great Mario Sperry?
Yes. He was actually going to corner me tonight, but he hangs out with the Sheik, of Abu Dhabi. So he hasn't been there in the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and he just got back to camp yesterday to help some of the guys back home. I wish he would have been here, but I do get to work with him often, and he's an amazing MMA coach. I'm talking about all the way around MMA coach. He's one of the most amazing coaches I ever worked with.
Were you suffering from any lagging injuries prior to this fight?
No, I just have, slight hand problems sometimes, but that's just from the years of hitting so hard, and there's no way I can get around it. I even begged for surgery, and the doctors all tell me the same story, like, you don't need surgery, they just hurt. So I just got to go stick them down in some ice and then let my wife kiss on them a little bit, and I'll be all right.
Is Joe Lauzon still what you want next? He fights only in a month. The timing could be right for that. And if so, are you hoping he wins?
Yeah, I hope he wins so I can beat him up because, I did nothing but respect that kid. And, I still stand by how I feel about that fight. The only reason he got me was because I rushed myself. If 9 out of 10 times that kid, that's the only time he'll win. That's definitely a fight I want back. And next time around, I won't be so nice about it. I definitely won't respect him. Y'all get to see a little bit of the old Melvin when I fight Joe Lauzon again.
How does it feel getting the warm welcome you got at the weigh-ins? You were one of the biggest crowd favorites, it seemed like.
That's because I know how to market myself. I'm just one of those guys, man. Like, I'm up late signing autographs. I stay in the lobby signing autographs. I skipped the expo this year. It was hard to do, but I stayed in bed all week. I slept. I wasn't bothered by the UFC to do interviews, so I was able to rest. I actually took like 2 naps a day, so my wife was very pleased that I was able to rest. I mean, she was more nervous than I was. And honestly, with the outcome of how the fight went, I was well rested, and I didn't feel tired in the fight. I felt great. And I think because I took the time, I feel like I took a little bit away from my fans, but I also gained something towards my fans in the end by winning. So, I'd rather come in and not go to the expo and show up to fight than to go to the expo and then come up short and then people questioning why was I at the expo all day. So I think staying away from the expo, it was a little tough to do, but I'm here till Tuesday, so I'll get to see as many fans as I want now.
Is there any strikers out there in the division that you'd really like to match up with? Because you said, of course, you want to get in there with strikers, guys that want to bang. Is there anybody out there that you can see,
hands down, honestly, and it's not cocky, but I don't think there's a guy in the UFC in my weight class that can strike with me, honestly. I mean, some of them are great strikers. They're good, but they don't have any power behind their punches. Some of them, it's like slap boxing. I used to do that in my neighborhood. So I don't really see a threat in the lightweight division as far as striking goes. But this is not just a kickboxing match, so you always have to be ready for the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. I think even at this stage in my career, most strikers probably try to submit me instead of strike with me.
What's your plans here in Vegas tonight? Do you do anything, have some fun, celebrate?
Man, I had about 30 friends, couples. Me and my wife have a bunch of couples that we hang out with. They actually all made the trip. So it was definitely an honor. I was surprised that most of them actually came. So we are going to go out tonight. I'm definitely going to go to the UFC after party first, pay my respects, say hi to the bosses, and then I don't really have an after party tonight myself. I just kind of hop around Vegas a little bit, but we're thinking about going to the Green Door. So I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's a pretty happening club.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
This video has been brought to you by Boss Rutan's O2 Trainer. Get yours at o2trainer.com. And Power Performance Products, makers of Body Storm and Body Effects. Get $10 off at powerperformanceproducts.com.